Well, so my guests were having the conversations prior to us getting on air. But you know, sometimes when you're used to the media and the way the montages are played, you become very much alert. And they were very much alert, though. My guest in the morning, for the morning, Member of Parliament for Damango is Gallows. And, well, that's what many of you know him by. That is the constituent, so to speak. But he's called Adams Mutawakilu, Vice Chairperson for the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament. Thanks for joining me.
I'm most grateful.
And a member of that very committee is also here. And he's a member of Parliament for the KEEA, that's Commander Edna Eguafo Abrim constituency. Edna man, how are you?
Yeah, very well.
Okay, you are from the Eguafo side of the constituency.
Both Edna and Abrim.
Abrim. Fantastic. But he is Dr. Nana Atuata, a former Central Regional Minister as well. Thanks for joining me, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have on the line Suleiman Ibrahima. He is Executive Director for the Media Foundation for West Africa. And we know they've been doing some trackings on speeches made by political activists, the politicians themselves, with the media and the general public based on what is aired, particularly in the run-up to the election. And we know that there's this very comment that has attracted a lot more responses on many of the discussion platforms. Is from Member of Parliament for Asin North. I think, I hope I'm right with that.
Asin Central.
Asin Central. Okay. Kennedy Agyapong has warned there will be chaos in Ghana if the Electoral Commission attempts to cheat the MPP flag bearer in the upcoming elections. And following that also, he made some disparaging comments about the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, all on a party platform, saying that it's because, well, her person, as in the female as she is, exchanged that very position for sex. I mean, just to plainly say that. Well, we have on the line Suleimana. A very good morning to you, Mr. Brahima.
Good morning, and good morning to your guests and viewers.
And now, particularly for the polls that, or the surveys that you usually conduct as a think tank. Now, with all these not perhaps assuaging the level of comments that we will tend to experience on the various platforms in the run-up to the elections, are you worried that some of these disparaging remarks are still made on the political platforms?
Well, I think that it must be clear by now that elections are about competition of ideas, as is often said. And there are so many people in this country who are not partisan in terms of whether being MPP, NDC, PPP, or whatever. And I think that it must also be clear to our politicians, especially folks in the MPP and NDC, that there are a group of people who would vote for either MPP or NDC, even if these parties do not compete. And generally, these are the same people who would hail you, who would praise you, and who would clap for you. You decide to use very abusive expressions against your opponent or person perceived to be your opponent. But fact is, these are people, as I said, who would vote for you as a party anyway. So why would you even seek to have their accounts? Why would you seek to have, to preach to them the kinds of words that, they would hail you, they would praise you on and so forth. Now, the category of people you need to win an election isn't the type of people who would tolerate these kinds of expressions. I believe that today or this morning, if another party goes out there and says, well, we've heard that from one party, this is what they are saying, that if they don't win the elections, there's going to be violence, and there is this comment against the chairperson of the EC, and so on and so forth. But on our part, what we're going to do is that if elections, if we win it, fine. If we don't win it, fine. Ghana must continue to exist. We don't think that because we want to win power, the security and stability of the state and the peace of the people should be compromised. I believe that very decent people are going to perceive this person as somebody who offers something positive.
Okay.
And that is what I have said. Yes.
Now, particularly when we know that the maverick politician likes making such comments, perhaps people don't take him as seriously as we think they do.
No, I've had the opportunity of listening to the tape, and yesterday when you were speaking, I could hear people say, both you. And as I've said already, these are the people who would vote for the MPP, whether Kennedy Agyapong speaks or doesn't speak, whether Nana Akufo-Addo goes to campaign or doesn't go. These are people who are MPP loyalists and would vote for them. But this is an MP. You can't say his voice or his comments do not matter. This is a member of our parliament, and therefore, when we talk about people who matter in this country, he is somebody who matters.
Okay.
And I would be extremely surprised if the MPP doesn't come out to say that, look, these views do not represent what the MPP stands for, and this is an individual position that he's taking. And for the fact that he is a member of our party and a member of parliament on the ticket of our party, we really are sorry for the comment. And as I said, it doesn't represent our views of the party. I would be extremely surprised if the MPP decides to be quiet on this.
All right. Thank you very much. Suleiman Abrahima, Executive Director for the Media Foundation for West Africa, speaking to us on this very subject. But he's not very new to the controversy. And you heard Suleiman Abrahima say the MPP at least should come out and perhaps dismiss some of these comments. Many of the times they've not. And really, I don't remember the last time that they have though. He's an integral member of the party, but particularly making some of these comments on a platform. For example, he's quoted here in a report as saying, if Charlotte declares Mahama winner, that day nobody make a mistake. Liberians were peaceful, Sierra Leoneans were peaceful, but when they got to that point, all die be die. For somebody who has visited some of these war-torn countries, Liberia, Sierra Leone, etc., and even the Ivory Coast, I've seen the devastating effect of the conflict. Now, for a politician who is a member of parliament to make some of these comments, whether it's innocently made or to perhaps dissuade or assuade a lot more feelings of their supporters, that's as disparaging as it can be.
Yeah, good morning to your cherished viewers. Quickly, two things. I have not listened to the tape. I was not at where Honorable Agyapong is alleged to have made these statements. But with the notes that you provided, the notes before me, two issues come to fore. One has to do with, and I quote, according to him, the party will not allow the EC to declare President John Mahama winner of the polls if there is evidence that Nana Akufo-Addo is the actual winner in the ballot expected to be held in November. Do you see anything wrong with this? If there is evidence that Nana Addo has won,
it says the party will not allow EC to declare yes.
Yes. Do you see something wrong with this? If there is evidence that Nana Addo has won, and then the EC declares Mr. A, Mr. B is the winner.
Nobody's saying there's anything wrong with that statement.
Good. So for that one, I stand by this statement. And it's correct. We're going for an election. It's competition. I have won. Like yesterday, Iceland beat England. And then 5 minutes after, results turned that England won 2-1. Would you agree?
No,
I don't find anything wrong with it. However, there's something that Suleiman Abrahima said. I totally disagree with him. Suleiman Abrahima was talking about the fact that somebody has said if his party loses election, there'll be chaos. Is that what he said? If his party loses elections, there'll be chaos. He said that if there's evidence that his party has won.
Well, we do understand all that I know you're trying to put that he said all that in context, yes, and you have premised that in context.
Exactly.
But following that,
however, following that
with a lot more of the comment. For example, why would you say that Liberians were peaceful, Sierra Leoneans were peaceful, and we know Ivorians were even peaceful. Ghanaians are also peaceful.
Right.
But we know that we have precedent in which comments made by leading politicians,
right,
which have been funded and rebroadcast by the media, have led to chaos in many countries. Indeed,
I agree.
The foremost example is Rwanda.
Rwanda. The
and,
Rwanda case.
And this has well been publicized and gazetted.
No, the Rwanda case is so fresh in our minds. Take this from me. If I go out there and talk to people that look, particularly the youth, don't allow yourself to be deceived by my own self, my opponents. Don't allow yourselves for such things to happen. In my own constituency, and I speak as a member of Parliament from Commanded Negua for Abrim, go to Agyapong. We have refugees from Ivory Coast as a result of what happened in their last elections. Let us not go into things that will take us to such kind of arena. Avoid it. I believe that these things, if you speak to your own people in this context, I wouldn't see anything wrong with it. However, when you go ahead from what is before me, like he said, if Charlotte declares Mahama winner that day, nobody, depending on how you go around it, depending on how
you seem to support the statement. That's what I think.
Not in total. I mean,
because you're having a difficulty really defending this.
No.
You are not?
I've told you, if it is about the evidence that has won.
No, we do understand that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
If the EC should declare the NDC's candidate of John Mahama the winner,
right,
when evidently we know that there are signs to show that he didn't win, hindsight, that would be wrong. Exactly. We all know.
That is the point. Yeah. So you agree with me?
But that's preemptive.
You agree with me?
Well, I do agree. I do agree with that statement, and I believe that even the honourable member, he also agrees with that.
So what is exactly the point that I am finding?
We're talking about comments that have been made hitherto that will seem to raise sentiments. For example, saying that when we get to that point, all die be die. What's the meaning of it? But you wait on that. Your comment on some of these comments that are also fanned by the media sometimes.
Thank you very much. It is very good morning, our cherished viewers, and more especially the good people of Damongo constituency. I think from '92 we have grown in our democracy.
Well, steadily.
Yeah.
We haven't fully grown because some of these comments.
No, I'm coming. And as Ghanaians, everybody should know how the Ghanaian is and whether such statements goes to help any party. I think they should be the best people to counsel us. They should know. From 2008, all die be die, kill airways and guns made by Canada, Agyapong.
I mean,
no, they have evidence. Ghana will turn into Afghanistan if we don't win the election by Cabo. And this statement, all these statements were made, and Ghanaians realized that this is a party that cannot handle the affairs of this country, and therefore voted against them. And they still believe that these utterances will yield results for them.
Well, these utterances are not made
it is very worrying.
Every member of the party.
No,
I think it will be very wrong on your part.
When you make a
statement,
excuse me,
that blanket justification.
When you make a statement and the party do not distance itself from that statement, it's made on behalf of the party.
But that's not a fair comment.
If I make a statement here,
Agyapong is an individual.
No,
he makes those comments not on behalf of the MP.
No, he made it on a public platform, and who benefits from that statement is the MPP. And that is why NDC, when people make statements we are not comfortable with, and that is not coming from the party view, we distance ourselves.
Give me an instance where you have come to distance.
Let me just give one. When Doche made a public comment,
the Justice Doche issue,
and Amalba came and criticized him, the party came out clearly.
That's not the position of the party.
That is not the position of the party.
Okay, understandable. Move on.
I'm very careful. Why this is worrying is that, you see, the disaster starts with a small incident. It doesn't start with a big incident. His comments, when one person takes it, can plunge this country into chaos.
How will one person take it and it will plunge the country into chaos?
It's just a matter of causing mayhem at one spot and how it is communicated. And that is why it is worrisome. And I think that the MPP should start working on themselves, because over the period when the Media Foundation for West Africa MPP has topped in respect of
violence,
the utterances that are
language
not,
that are
yeah,
used.
the languages that
Well,
are
that's
used.
true over the last 2 polls.
Yes, and I thought
and
that
the NDC has followed closely on its heels.
you see, our General Secretary said it when we had our anniversary on the 10th of June, that we were born out of revolution. And since 92, we've managed to clean ourselves and now handed it over to MPP. And it is a fact. It is a fact. And that tells you that we have learned.
Well, somebody will say that
things.
when you have MPP key personality, personality like Agyapong make some of these comments, it ignores your political benefits. Because here you are, you're making milk out of this.
No,
You're milking the situation.
I'm making very clear statements. Because that is not a good statement. And my brother said, assuming you have clear evidence.
Yes.
Do you go and say, if you cheat, pastors, if you're a pastor, stay home? That is the result. That is the action they will take if they have evidence. If you are not a man, stay home. We will fight to defend this country. That ended up with all die be die.
Well, I didn't want to read all of it.
I thought that we have laws in this country. And therefore, if you have evidence, the evidence is at the law court to prove.
And so you have to go to the
reasonable doubt.
Okay.
And not to give the outcome of what you do if you have. Because evidence should be proven beyond reasonable doubt.
So you're
and
saying
it is
that
unfortunate.
It's the courts where they have to send all
It is
grievances.
unfortunate at this modern era, a woman is appointed to a position. You don't dispute her qualification, and you just sit down and think that she used her body to get to that position. It's very damning. You know, we have the Chief Justice, who is a woman for the first time, was appointed under Kufuor. So if you are making those general statements, you feed it into the public mind that any woman who attains a certain position in public is not by merit. And I want to condemn it. I want to condemn it. Look, the females, in most of my educational career,
and
I have
your
some
working life,
who are very intelligent, hardworking, and therefore deserve to be promoted. And I think that if he had been able to cite instances that he doesn't have this qualification, he has no experience, and as such,
that would have been
this
justified.
is the only way he could get to that
comments
place.
made.
Then we'll analyze
now let's spend just 2 minutes each on this.
Just 2 minutes.
Two minutes, yes.
I don't want to play battle of equals here. That he has mentioned, someone has said it.
No equalization, you say.
I don't want to do that. John Mahama, what did John Mahama say in 2008 when he was campaigning the North? That if Northerners want a vice president, then they should vote for Baumia.
But that doesn't equate to
I don't want to go into equalization. You see, if the party, if it is found out, I must admit, if it's found out that Honorable Agyapong made this statement, this
you do
paragraph.
not think he made this call?
No.
You think the media is making this up?
I'm saying that if it
I'm
is
asking
found out, I was.
No, we have found out he made this call. We have audio. I have listened to it. Have you listened to audio?
I have not.
Okay.
If you have listened to it, and Ken said this, I believe that MPP as a party will definitely do the right thing.
You think you will?
Why not?
You are sure your party will come out and disassociate itself?
Will definitely do the right thing. I mean, there are instances he gave one. You remember our former finance minister? Our former finance minister, MP Forda, was alleged to have made certain comments. Exactly. Was alleged to have made certain comments. You know it, I know it, you know it. The party distanced itself from it.
So you say you have a history of doing that?
Exactly. So I am of the view that we don't need to encourage.
I'll give you additional, maybe a minute or two, so that I give him only 2 minutes. You get 4, he gets 2. But let me ask you, from all the comments, and sometimes you get these very comments from MPP members and their activists, do you get a feeling that the Electoral Commission is out there to cheat you in the election.
I don't
and
think...
so sometimes the posture is that you want to put it right and want to have the stakes high so that nothing untoward happens.
You agree with me just last week. The Supreme Court said what? That they wouldn't sit down to allow EC to plunge this nation into chaos. It tells you something. That Supreme Court telling us that they will not sit down for EC to plunge this nation into chaos. They are coming.
But the Supreme Court didn't say they will not sit down for the EC to declare John Mahama the winner.
No,
that's not what they said.
No. But listen,
because it doesn't mean if they declare John Mahama the winner, there should be chaos.
Some issues.
I'm saying that it doesn't mean that if the EC after the election declares John Mahama the winner, there should be chaos. Because that's what this very statement says.
No.
That if you declare John Mahama the winner, that is if there's evidence that Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo won, there will be chaos and there will be war.
The point is this: all these that we're talking about, we need credible and peaceful elections in Ghana. It is a contingent on the fact that there is a credible register.
And some other factors.
Like
the existence of an atmosphere of making good utterances, etc.
I agree. I agree perfectly with you. But EC should play a role that we all will have trust in that organization. So at the end of the day, if my vice chair of my committee wins, no problem. If Atuata wins, no problem. At the end of the day, Ghana has won.
I give you only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
There's some level of apprehension you get it from the main opposition, the MPP, that if you look at sometimes the posture of the Electoral Commission and even just last week the court declared that they will not sit down for the EC to plunge this country into chaos. Now the EC is not doing something right. No. And so leading to some level of distrust for the EC.
There will always be challenges.
No wonder people are making some of these comments. Am I justified in making such a statement?
There will always be challenges. But that tells you, whatever happened, that tells you that the structures work.
That the structures we have
in Ghana. The structures in Ghana, we have laws that work.
Or institutions.
Or institutions that implement laws and make sure that things work. It is a very, the Supreme Court interpreting and doing this, I see it like enriching the democracy that we have. So when somebody goes outside those same institutions and make threats, then that is not using the institution to get desired results. And I believe that elections are won at the police station.
I gave you 2 minutes. You have a minute.
The EC do not declare results from Accra without collating it. Before they declared Damongo constituency results in Accra, we had gotten the results in the constituency. So elections are won at the constituency level. Please, I want to stress my brothers and sisters from MPP, they should concentrate at the police station. Whatever results that comes from the police station, accepted by both parties at the police station, the constituency, the region, is what EC declares. Because the EC do not just come and declare results. It is being verified by various political parties to ascertain that that is the true figure, and therefore so
you are saying what? If they are not alert at the polling station,
so they
shouldn't
come to the top and start crying. But they should go on the
point has been made. The government is expected to provide additional 400 million Ghana cedis to close a funding gap for the Electoral Commission ahead of the 2016 polls. And the Deputy Finance Minister, Kaysel Atoforsen, disclosed that government was also unable to give the 1.2 billion as in the budgeted request by the Commission for this year's election. And this has resulted in huge challenges. And we know that civil society have been raising concerns about the unavailability of enough resources, perceived reservedly also, to the Electoral Commission to conduct the polls. This falls in line, doesn't it?
It does. It does. The EC in their budget asked for 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. If due diligence, everything was done, and that seriously they need that amount of money, I believe that as a nation, we all agree democracy is expensive. You know, there's an institution that can make or break Ghana. Easy. And that if they need the additional 400 million Ghana cedis, I believe it is incumbent on us as a nation to look for the money for them to be able to conduct these elections free and fairly. However, what I'm not too sure about where the ministry is going to look for the money, that Honorable Deputy Minister says looking at savings from ministries, departments, and agencies. Do you have savings in any ministry department when they are over-bloating their budget? We have an instance, some to the tune of about 2,000%. Just at the Public Account Committee hearing yesterday, it's reported that 20 million that was actually approved for JIDA in 2012. And it's an election year like this, same election year 2016. This whole finance ministry released as much as 200 million, 200 billion.
200 million Ghana cedis.
200 million Ghana cedis to JIDA.
Out of a budget of
20 million.
So
with this over-bloating, the point that I'm raising...
There was an overrun of 180 million.
Yes, just imagine. And so my fear is going to look for savings from ministry department agencies in an election year 2016, when we have history, that over-bloated budget...
Does it give you some fears?
I am of the view that if they need a 40 million, government should look as to how we can find the 40 million, but not relying on the savings from the ministry department agencies. It won't happen. There will not be any ministry. I mean, we have the history as I've already cited. But I agree that there's a need for all of us to make sure that the government releases, or the Ministry of Finance releases, the 40 million Ghana cedis to EC, 400 million Ghana cedis, so that their 1.2 billion cedis they are looking for will be up to.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are not talking currently about JIDA, but let me just make, once he has
mentioned we'll talk about JIDA. So
once he has mentioned some figure, I just want to correct it before.
Are you a member of the Public Accounts Committee?
No. It wasn't bloated 2,000%. It's 900%. No, I have to be very frank.
It's
by arithmetic, if something increases from 20 to 200, the difference is 180. So it is the 180 over 20 times 100. That will give you 900%. So to be very
an accountant, so I understand.
Yeah. Then the EC, yes, it submits its budget. The government will evaluate the budget and then come out with what it feels is the most. Every department, agency, you submit your budget, the government will re-evaluate it and then caption it very well. And in our passing the budget, we always ask, what was the budget you submitted? This is what government approved. While in the course of the year, it becomes evident that, yes, what you submitted is the right thing. Because as you undertake your activities, you are being monitored. Government will always do everything possible to make up the shortfall. And I believe that...
So you are saying this one is just in line? It's just a normal budgetary expenditure
Even
practice.
if there are no savings and what have you, we have the contingency vote. The contingency vote.
So we have to go dip in our hand. And
there's a difference between the contingency fund and the contingency vote. That one is within the prerogative of the Minister of Finance. If he finds it necessary, he can go to the contingency vote to ensure that...
like a bank vote. It reminds me of the bank vote.
No, I agree with the 900%, but do you think that the 900% increment is normal?
No,
I said
it's
we are not discussing
normal.
it now.
No, so I know. But so you agree with me that...
I don't want to make some...
Okay, let's... No, I agree with you. I agree with the 900%. I agree.
Gentlemen.